What's going on YouTube? Kamikazevondoom here with another Division 2 build video. Now shout out to the DoD, Disciples of Doom. In today's build video, I'm going to show you my 6-second spotter build featuring the Pestilence. Now I've been using this build for several live streams now, so if you want to go back to any of my live streams that have the word Dark Zone or PvP in it, I'm usually running this build. It's a lot of fun to run in a squad, and it's even better solo, but the solo part we'll talk about in a different video. But this video, it's going to be all about how I reached rank 116 Manhunt the other day in the Dark Zone just by using this build. I didn't change builds, none of that. Used this build the entire time and it was a lot of fun. But don't take my word for it. I'm going to show you some highlights of that stream. So sit back, relax, grab your popcorn. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new. And let me know in the comments section below what you think about this build. But alright, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys my Manhunt rank, 116 gameplay. So yeah, here we go. Sit back, relax, and I will be right back.
An agent needs assistance. Rogue agent neutralized nearby. Now detecting contaminated gear. System restored. Contaminated gear detected. Now detecting contaminated gear.
Alright, welcome back. I only wanted to show you about 5 minutes of gameplay. There's like a 3 or 4 hour stream on my channel, so if you want to go see it, just look at my live streams. It is the very last one that says the Dark Zone. So if you click on that, you can see me use this build for hours. But I wanted to at least show you guys a few clips of me using it. But alright, so here we go. This is my 6-second spotter build featuring the Pestilence. Now, like I said, this is really good for group play, but it's even better for solo. So I'm going to do a separate video of me showing you how to do this solo. But for that entire stream, for all that gameplay, and for today's video, here is the build as it sits. This is my 6-second spotter build featuring the Pestilence. Now, starting off at the top, you can use, and it's the glorious part about all this, you can use whatever specialization you want. Obviously, we know next year, whenever they do an update, months from now, we will get, you know, some specialization reworks and we can have fun that way. But for right now, for this build, you can use whatever specialization you want. I'm using the Technician specialization just because it got my pulse up to a tier 2. And that is without getting any of my memento stacks. Now remember, the memento is going to give you skill efficiency, so you can actually get this pulse below 5 seconds. Yeah, it's insane. And the crazy part is the effect duration of the pulse is so much longer than the skill haste that I can just keep pulsing over and over and over, and it's like, you know, a never-ending pulse. It's pretty amazing. I'll show you guys that in some solo gameplay. But alright, so for this one, Technician specialization, I'm only using it to give me another skill tier on my pulse, but that's about it. You can use whatever specialization you want. Now, as far as the weapons, obviously it's not a 6-second Pestilence spotter build without using the Pestilence. My favorite LMG in the entire game. I think it's the best in slot, in my opinion. Now here it is, the Pestilence. It is the exotic LMG, and the #1 way to get this LMG is actually in the Dark Zone. You can get this fairly quick. Just get a crew, jump in the Dark Zone, and I bet one of you is going to get an exotic drop, and it's going to be the Pestilence. Now this one, for the video, I'm sitting at 87k total damage. That is without any memento stacks. Remember, it does go, you know, a lot higher. I believe it hits just below 100k with memento stacks, but we'll check that out later. Now, as far as the attributes, this one is God rolled, so max LMG damage, max damage to armor, and max damage to targets out of cover. But everyone loves the Pestilence because of the talent. Plague of the Outcasts. Now remember, a lot of people still think that status effects will help your Pestilence. It will not. A lot of people think that crit chance and crit damage will help your Pestilence. It will not. A lot of people also think that headshot damage will help your Pestilence. And it will not. The #1 thing that will help your Pestilence is weapon damage or multiplicative damage buffs, meaning damage to armor, damage to health, damage to targets out of cover. All of those things will help your Pestilence stacks, but no crit, no headshot damage, no status effects, none of that will help, so don't even try it. You want to go for multiplicative damage buffs, and you want to go for weapon damage. Now, for this being a Dark Zone build, and me, you know, getting Manhunt ranks with this build, I do have a lot of armor. But it's okay because the damage over time with the Pestilence is so high that it doesn't matter. Alright, so let's read the talent. Plague of the Outcast. Hits will apply a debuff dealing 100% weapon damage over 10 seconds. Now that'll stack up to 50 times. So you can get upwards of 5,000% weapon damage from your Pestilence ticks. Now, whenever an enemy dies with that debuff, all the stacks will transfer to a nearby enemy within 25 meters. It doesn't, you know, it's not the closest enemy or anything like that. If there are 5 enemies around you and you kill one of them, it's going to randomly pick a different, enemy to put those stacks on. So you can't really control where it goes, but it is really cool that it spreads nevertheless. Alright, so there's your Pestilence. Now for me, my sidearm, I'm using a Vector just because I want burst damage. So maybe I am reloading my Pestilence and someone runs up on me. I can switch really quick to the Vector, mow them down, and then go right back to the Pestilence. Now as far as my sidearm, I have the D50 on here. I'm not really using it. You guys can use whatever sidearm you want, but this D50, max pistol, max damage to targets out of cover, and ranger. It's dirty. Alright, so those are your weapons. That is why I'm using the specialization. Let's talk about the build. So like I said, multiplicatives are key. So I am running 2 Walker Harris for the weapon damage and damage to armor. I am using the contractor gloves for the LMG damage and damage to armor. And then I am using the Fox's Prayer knee pads for the damage to targets out of cover. Now for the mask, I am using the Night Watcher. That is how I am getting that 6-second pulse. And with my Memento stacks up, it drops it down to, I believe, 5 seconds or just below 5 seconds, something like that. And then of course the Momento Backpack. Now just looking at this build stock with no stacks or anything, my scanner pulse is sitting at 6.7 seconds cooldown, so I do have a 6-second pulse. Alright, now looking at the build, let's deep dive starting with the mask. Night Watcher mask. So this is your named Gilligard mask with the scanner pulse haste. So what this does is it increases your skill haste for your scanner pulse only. And when it does that, it comes back 100% quicker than it normally would. So normally you would have like a 14 or 15 second cooldown. Now it's been cut in half, so now you're at 6 seconds. Now as far as the brand set bonus I get from this mask, I get the 5% total armor. Now as far as the attributes, I have max armor, I have the 100% scanner pulse haste, and then I have max weapon handling. Weapon handling is key for the Pestilence. It's a lot of fun to use. Now for the mod, I am using a maxed out skill haste mod to get my pulse back even quicker. Next up we have my chest piece. This is the Walker Harris & Co. chest piece with Spotter. Spotter is a must for this build. That's why you're using the Night Watcher and Spotter together, because the Night Watcher gives you that scanner pulse down to like 6 seconds, and then every 6 seconds you can pulse and get your Spotter to be activated. Now just a reminder, Spotter amplifies all weapon damage and skill damage by 15% to any pulsed enemy. So just remember that. As far as the brand set bonuses are concerned, I get the 5% weapon damage and the 5% damage to armor. Now for the attributes, I have max weapon damage, weapon handling, and then armor regen. Now for me, in a perfect world, I would want weapon handling and skill haste, but it is what it is. Now as far as the mod, I do have a max skill haste mod, so that does help me out as well. Going down to the holster. This is the Walker Harris & Co. holster. Now the attributes, I have max armor and max weapon handling. Those are the two that I am most important, those are my priority. Now as far as the hazard, I would not want hazard on there either. I would want skill haste. All that would do is make your pulse come back even quicker, but I'm not too worried about it, because as soon as I get my Memento stacks, I get the pulse back even faster anyways. So it would be nice to get rid of the hazard and put skill haste on there to have a faster pulse, but it is what it is. Alright, going to the knee pads. Fox's Prayer knee pads. These are the best knee pads in slot. Best in slot for knee pads. Reason being is it gives you that 8% damage to targets out of cover. You can even buy these knee pads right now at the theater settlement. So if you want to go over there to the theater, buy them, and you're good to go. Now for these, I'm not using the brand set bonus, so I'm not worried about that. But as far as the attributes, I have max armor, max weapon handling, and then the damage to targets that I cover. Going to the gloves, I'm running the Contractor's gloves. Now as far as the brand set bonus I get from this, in the build I get 10% LMG damage. That helps my Pestilence. Now for the attributes, I have max armor, that way I can stay a little tanky. I have percent damage to armor, and then I have max weapon handling, which is key for the Pestilence. And then finally, last but certainly not least, the Momento Backpack. Now the Momento Backpack is really cool. For one, it has a talent that gives you short-term and long-term buffs, and it also gives you 3 core attributes. So right now I have max weapon damage, max armor, and that +1 skill tier. For the mod, I'm using a skill haste mod of 11.9%. Now as far as the talents, it comes with Kill Confirmed. Now Kill Confirmed gives you a short-term and long-term buff. The short-term buff is just based off of your core attributes. So with this build, I am using 2 red, 5 blue, and 1 yellow. So every time I kill an enemy and pick up a trophy, I get 10% weapon damage, I get 50% bonus armor, and I get 5% skill efficiency. Now remember, the weapon damage is going to make my Pestilence hit harder, and the skill efficiency is going to make my skill haste even higher for my pulse, so I'll be able to pulse enemies even quicker. Now as far as the long-term buffs, this goes into, how it's going to be better solo than in a group, is because you can get up to 30 stacks of long-term buffs. So if I can collect 30 trophies within 5 minutes, I can keep max stacks and just run around the Dark Zone. Now 30 stacks, what is that? You get 30% weapon damage, 30% skill efficiency, and you get 3% armor regen for the whole time it's active. Now once you have max stacks, all you need to do is get 1 kill. It could be an NPC, it could be a skill, it could be a player, whatever it is. But all you need is 1 kill every 5 minutes, and you'll be able to keep your max stacks the entire time you're in the Dark Zone. So that's why when you're running solo, it is a little, because you can run around with max stacks, but with all the gameplay and the streams that I showed you, I'm running this not even with max stacks, and it's still a lot of fun to use. And there you go. That is my 6-second Pestilence spotter build. Pretty simple. Now as far as the skills, I'm using the Scanner Pulse. I do get it back every 6.7 seconds. Now obviously with the Memento stacks, I'm going to get it back even quicker. And then for my other skill, I am using the EMP Sticky Bomb, and that's for all those shield build players, for all those skill build players and whatnot. I want to take out their skills, pulse them, get them on Pestilence ticks, and watch them all die. Pretty simple. Alright, let's finish off with the stats. Now this is for the Pestilence. I'm at 87k weapon damage with 29k PvP weapon damage. 10% crit chance, 45 crit damage, and 85 headshot damage. I have 19% armor damage, and then don't forget about the damage to targets out of cover. Now looking at the offensive tab, I'm at 45% all weapon damage bonus and 40% LMG damage bonus. So every time I use the Pestilence, I have 85% damage bonus total. Now looking at the defensive tab, I'm sitting at 1.7 million armor with a little bit of armor regen and 336k max health. Now as far as my explosive resistance, I'm at 10% and my hazard's at 19, but a majority of this is just based off of my watch level. So like I do in every build video, I'm going to give you the disclaimer. So right now, as of making this build video, I am at shade level 2738, meaning all of these attribute boxes are maxed out 50 of 50. Now, if you want to copy and paste my build and try it out for yourself, you can, as long as you are at or above shade level 1000, you should have the exact same numbers and results as me. Now, if you are below shade level 1000 and you try to copy and paste my build, some of the attributes will be lower for your build compared to my build. And that is all because of the watch level and these attribute boxes. You want to make sure each of these boxes are maxed out 50 of 50. Alright, that's it. This is my 6-second Pestilence spotter build. Shout out to Bishop Boas and the Wrecking Crew over there on Xbox. We had a great time using this in the Dark Zone. We got up to Manhunt rank 116 before we all died, but you know, it is what it is. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to watch the live stream, you can go to my channel, go to live streams, and then you want to look for the latest one that says we are back in the Dark Zone. For that stream, I used this build the entire time. So I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to hit that like, support the channel by subscribing, and if you have any questions or comments, let me know in the comments section below. But with all that said and done, I am Kamikazevondoom. Shout out to the DoD, Disciples of Doom. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.